So let's do a little tour of my latest round of rugs and some of the lessons I've learned, some of the things I like. So this is the first one I did this last round here, and the lesson I learned was not to switch up my spinning method and to make sure I label all of my bags, because I don't know if you can see here on the camera, but this texture here is slightly different from the rest of the rug. So I had started spinning on my Dodec spinning wheel that my partner made for me, and then I had done this like months and months ago, that first ball of yarn. When I decided to finish up spinning some of that yarn, I used my kick spindle, and I thought I was doing it thin enough, but when you look at it, this seems like a little bit chunkier than this. And also, this is a little bit creamier, so I think I pulled from a different bag. But I do really like the texture of this pattern of the warp and the weft, like the contrast between the wool and the cotton, and I really like it. So I want to make more of these. Also, you could tell I was a little excited to get started, and I didn't do a few lines of the warp. But in the end, not too bad. I'm pretty happy with it. Here is the rug I made for my son. This is using the border Leicester, and I love it. It's so soft and it's just gorgeous. I like the little variations, different sections of weft. You can see I still need to work on some of my spinning methods. I do think this weaving pattern is pretty forgiving. Anyway, I really love this. Here is the Jacob fleece, and I gotta say I love working with the Jacob fleece a lot. It was super easy to scour, it was really easy to card. So when I started this, I wanted this to be an experiment in an ombre. I started on this end and then I went to this end. So something that bugs me is that it's not symmetrical, and you know, when I started this rug, I knew I wanted it to be an experiment and play around. But I think in the future, if I am going to do an experiment, it needs to be symmetrical, because this bugs me that this end is kind of stripy and this end is smooth. And I saw when this was going on that it was kind of like a stripy ombre, and I thought that would be kind of cool to see how it would end up. And then when I got to this end, I thought, well, should I do the stripy thing again, or can I see if I can get a nice smooth ombre? And I decided I wanted to see if I could get a smooth ombre. So it's nice to have that comparison, but it bugs me that they don't match. Here is the Leicester long wool. So I had done a coffee dye, but then I decided to just go with like regular acid dye, and I used like a purple and a black, and it looks really good. I'm not a huge fan of the Leicester long wool as far as like carding it by itself. I think in the future, if I use it again, I will card it with something, because it was so airy and light. It just kind of floofed away as I was carding it, and it was a little bit frustrating. But I like how this looks. I like that it's very simple. I like the little detail on each end. I'm not sure if I beat this in hard enough, because if you look, you can kind of see that daylight comes through, and I think with rugs they're supposed to be nice and tight. So I'm not sure how this will hold up, but I'm happy with it. It was neat to do, and I think it looks pretty, and I think the wool kind of shines through with this. I'm getting better at spinning, so it was neat to see how it looked with that. And finally, my rag rug. Someone has sent me a video which was super helpful, of a guy that was making rag rugs with jeans, and he really beat in the jean fabric with his loom. And I don't know that I feel comfortable using my loom in that way, like beating it that hard. When I have beat it pretty hard, my break comes loose from the loom. So I think if I want to get serious about making rag rugs, I might want to consider getting a different loom. I'm not sure. I need to do another one and see how it goes. But I think of the rugs that my grandma made, and hers were so much better than this. Considering this my first one, I'll give myself some grace, and you know, it's not terrible. But I just, when I look at my grandma's rag rug that is like 35 years old or 30 years old, that's much better quality than this, I think. So I'll improve. I'm getting better. I do hope to make some more in the future. Again, I'm not sure if maybe I should consider getting an additional loom, though I don't know where I would put it, if I want to do rag rugs where I really, really beat them in. But anyway, that's the last one. Overall, I'm pretty happy and proud of myself for what I've done so far. I think I'm getting better. I'm learning. I do think I prefer working with the wool more than the rag rugs, but the rag rugs go way faster, so it is very satisfying to be able to start and finish something in one day. Where the wool rugs, it takes me, I feel like, weeks to finish. But so anyway, thank you for joining me on this little tour of my rugs.